Hi, welcome you again. And in this lecture, I'm going to teach you all about the components of a transform vector. So, let down here, components of a immediate transform vector. So, what is that? It's very easy, just nothing but manipulation. Okay, so given a vector, say for example here we have a given vector A and transform tensor T. So if we transform A into B, then we can write down T A equal to B. So our purpose of this, so how we can derive the components of B from the tensor T, given tensor T and the given vector A. So how we can write down this? So if it is A, we are already said that A is a vector, so A can be written here. A equal to A1 E1 plus A2 E2 plus A3 E3, right? So we if we transform this, that means we T of A, then all about you have to write down this T here, right? So what we can write down here, we can A1 T E1, right? Yeah, A2 T2 plus A3 T E3. Okay, so if we can derive the TE1 and TE2 and TE3, then we could find out all the transform vectors or something like that. So this is the B. So this is the B, right? And this is the B. Okay, yeah. We can, if we can find out this TE1, TE2, and TE3, then we can find out the components of B, right? So how we can write down the B into? So we can write down the B equal to B into BU1 plus BE2 plus BE3, right? Yeah. So we can write down here equal to B1 equal to B dot E1, right? So what is the B? B is nothing but this whole term, right? This whole term. So we can write down here. So B equal to E1 dot. So we can E1. So here it is our E1. So we can bring out T here, bring out T. So we have A1 E1 plus A2 E2 plus A3 E3, right? Yes. So even we can bring out this here A1. So A1 sorry. Does this and yep, yeah, sorry for that. So we can write down here A1 bracket E1 dot T E1, right, plus A2 E1 dot T E2, right, plus A3 E1 dot T E3. Okay, so you have to find out now what is the TE1, what is the TE1, right? From the TE1, so we can E1 dot TE1. So what is the TE1? From the equation, from the components of tensor, we know the A1 equal to E1 dot T11 E1, right? Plus T21 E2 plus T31 E3 E2 here, right? And this is this component here. So we can calculate this E1. So this is the E1. So we can write out here T11 equal to E1 dot E1 plus T21 to e1 dot t e2 plus t31 bracket t e1 e3 and the whole term. And these terms are clearly zero because the dot product of e1 and e2, we know this is the zero, so this is the zero, so this part will be zero, and this part will be zero, and this part will be the one, right? So here we can write down a1 t11. So this component, this part is here, we can write down here t1 ta1 a1, and so for this component we can write down here t12 plus, similarly you can find out a2 t12, and similarly for this equation, for this term we can write down here plus t13 a3. So these are the components of b1. So b1 equal to a1 t11, a2 t12, a3 t13. So we can write down the b2 and b3. So how we can write down this here? We can write down b2 equal to uh, b2 equal to t21 a1 plus t22 a2 plus t23 2 3, here the a3, and b3 equal to t31 a1 plus t32 a2 plus t33 a3. So from this I can write down this here. So b11 b1 b2 and b3, so this is a matrix here, right, is equal to t11 t11 T12, T13, T21, T22, T23. Here T31, T32, and T33. So these are the here, and I can write down here A1, A2, and A3. Okay, so in metric form we can write down this. So in compact form we can write down here, in compact form we can write down, so b matrix of b equal to t matrix of t, something like that, and a. So in tensor notation we can see here, in tensor notation we can write down very similar form or something like that. So how we can do that? Yes. So if you carefully observe that the first part here t1 1 and 1 is the same as this, right? The second part is this, this, and this, same, right? And this, and this same. So in tensor form we can write down here is the bm or bj, say bj equal to t j, the first term is ji 1 2 3, and this is the 1 2 and 3. So this is the I. So I equal to AI. So we can write down here. So BJ equal to TJI equal to AI in complex form or indical notation or matrix form, something like that. So this is the how we can derive or get the components of transform vector in terms of the uh, transform tensor or the given vector t, and here so transform as something like that. So thank you very much, and I'm going to see you on next lecture.